Well, here we are, almost end of the week. It's Thursday, but we're not quitting. We're learning. And thank you guys for being here to practice your conversations. We're continuing with the AI listing interview. And there's 8 sections. We're going to be on section 4. And this part of the listing interview, let me set it up if you haven't been watching. You're at the table. You know the seller is going to be interviewing other agents. I don't know what number you are. You already know there's a list of questions the seller has prepared. Today, we're going to be talking about something that most sellers will bring up. Hang on, hear me on this. If they don't bring it up, this is a must bring up. And the topic is communication. The question you see behind me, I think Louise has kindly put it in the chat. This is what the seller asked you. And we're going to have some people get up and take some time to answer the question. There's more than one way to answer it. So who is actually our little guinea pig? Was that Frank?
It's
Yes,
me.
Frank and Dawn.
Frank and Don. That's awesome. So let's go. Let's roll.
Versus Frank and Stein.
Hey, Don, do you have any other questions for me?
I do. I'm curious, how often were you updating?
You mean giving you updates as far as what's going on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's okay. Keep going. I'm sorry. You're right. Keep going.
That's an excellent question. I've got a couple things in place, and I'll go over those with you, and you can let me know if that's going to meet what you're looking for. What would you, in a perfect world, what would you like to see? How often would you like me to bug you?
Um, well, I think we'd like to know the feedback when we have showings.
Okay. Anything else?
Probably once a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Good. Okay,
Twice a
so
week, something like that.
we've got a couple things in place. First off, every Monday you're going to receive a report from from my admin, Isaiah, which is going to come to you showing you where we're at on it. Plus, you're going to receive the automated feedback response from the agents after every showing. Now, the way that works, not every agent will give us feedback. We're going to reach out to them several times. If they don't respond to the what we send them, I will be picking up the phone and calling them. Again, still not every agent will respond, but we're going to do our best to try and get a response from each agent. So that might not come to you on Monday because it could happen.
Feedback really fast. Hey, Matt, I see you're on there. So really fast. When we start the next one, this is on me, Don, and Louise. Ask the question that's behind me.
Can't see it.
See where they take it, right? You asked one of the 6 questions I think I sent you. Frank, the 20-second rule, what does that mean to you?
I'm sorry, what was that, Denny?
The 20-second rule, what does that mean to you?
Breathe.
I don't care if you breathe or not, but just don't talk more than 20 seconds.
Right.
Now, do you see you had kind of a very long explanation? That's probably all good information, but I'm speaking to everyone, and Matt can pipe in too. You don't have to read. You don't have to say everything at once without making it a little interactive, because their attention span is probably longer than ours. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Frank? I mean, Matt.
Yeah, we talked about this kind of in our coaches chat this morning. It's a well orchestrated presentation or play. So get them to interact. For example, you let Don say feedback. We want to get the feedback, and then maybe once a week. Here's how I like to segment those conversations, or bifurcate, I think might be the right word. He says, we'd like to know about the feedback. Okay. You'd like to know the feedback, or you'd like to speak with me about the feedback each time it comes in. So then the reason I do that is because then I know if we even need to speak about that any further. Because then you went on to explain, well, we're going to get the feedback, and we're going to call about the feedback. We're going to call about it. You could have addressed that by dissecting that piece of the conversation and not have to bring it up again. And then he said, and then once a week. Okay. And so if I understand correctly, you'd like to speak with me at least once a week to know what's going on. Am I understanding that right? Again, interactive and to the point where you don't have to go into what you just went into. Because then what you did was you took what he said and you're like, all right, now I'm going to sell him on what we do.
Some of the things I think you said there are very important. However, like we're just layering this on. Well, I tell you feedback once a week. We've got that. In fact, and you can say what that is. Would you like to know our procedure of how we provide you feedback after a showing?
Yes. Yep.
Or we have a real-time feedback loop. Would you like to know what it is? So what I'm doing is sometimes just interjecting a question as you break it down.
Yes.
So you don't go on for 90 seconds. Because there's a lot of good stuff there. Does that make sense? So Louise, start with a question. The seller can ask this question. Tell me about your level of communication. So I want it to be a generic question. Let's see where it goes. Okay. Who's next?
So Ellie, we're
Yes,
up.
Liz.
Hey Ellie, do you want me to ask the base question or what?
Kind of like this. Hey, listen, I got a list of questions here, AI, and they want me to ask you about what is your level of communication. So what is your level of communication?
That's a great question. What level of communication makes you feel most comfortable during this such an important process?
Oh
Yeah.
goodness, that's I want to be well informed. I don't want to be surprised.
Okay. Luis, what does it mean for you well informed? Do you prefer to updates through the week or a more structured schedule reviews?
That's
Well,
two
do you have a
questions
system in
without an
place?
answer.
Do you have a system, Ellie?
Would you like to know about our systems and how we communicate with the clients during the process?
Well, I'm curious to know, like with your system, how often will you update me?
It depends. Would you like to be updated daily or weekly?
Frank, Matt, my brain's not working. How can you sit still?
I just smile. I just smile.
Ellie, do you see what you're doing? You're asking a question every time she asks. We're 45, 50 seconds into this conversation and nothing's happened yet.
And if you have a system,
well, let's go back to question one. What level? Well, what level would you want? Can anyone here? Everyone alert. Can anyone here answer that? I don't have a thermometer. I don't know what's level one. How high does it go? You see, you ask a question to get clarity, but the question made it more ambiguous. Take over, Matt. This is your day. I'm going to shut up.
So when this is why I really like at the beginning of my listing appointments, I have what I call the Sharpie close. It's trademarked. If you steal it, I'll find you and I will bury you in the desert. So the Sharpie close is, hey, what 2 to 3 things do you need to know from a realtor to know they're the right realtor to help you? You're going to suss out. That's why I like doing that, because it kind of dismantles this encyclopedia of questions that they might throw at you. They will add those things in there. So then when they say things like Louise's point, how often or whatever the exact language was of how are you going to communicate, you get them line itemed, and then you say, well, now what I want to do is focus on these. When you say communication, I think I know what you mean. Tell me what your expectations are. So that in that way you don't have to overcomplicate it, over-explain it. And it's no different even if you didn't do the Sharpie close. She says, how often are you going to communicate, or what are you going to, and well, I can tell you what we do, but what I'd like to know first is what your expectations of me would be.
Matt, 2 questions. One is, if we use Sharpie close and spell it differently, is that still a violation of trademark?
Go for it.
Okay. Here's the other thing, Ellie. I think with the question was level of communication.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So happy to answer that. Help me understand, what do you mean that by level? What are your levels? Now I'm asking, if she's going to measure it, how would you measure that? How do I answer that question? I don't know what levels are, high,
Mhm.
medium, low, or what? Are you asking,
Okay.
how often? That would be a leading question,
Mhm.
but the problem with that is I'm putting a word in her mouth. It also, remember, I started the question. This is what I want you to remember. This is going to happen. AI has asked me to ask you these questions, or a friend has asked me to ask these questions, when really it's AI. Always remember, they're going to have questions, but they don't know how to compare the answers. Make sure you keep that in your mind, because if they're interviewing, and they'll have a series of answers, but how do they put that into some sort of spreadsheet and figure out who they should hire? So let's keep moving forward, and let's see if we can get a little sharper. All right, number 3.
Okay, Robert and Don.
Didn't we have Carlos?
I didn't see him, but I'm going to update the chat. Go ahead though with Robert, and I'll update the
Okay.
chat.
Hey, Robert, before you came over, we kind of played around in AI and got some questions. Can I ask them?
Certainly.
Yeah. The first one's, what level of communication should we expect from an agent? What level of communication do you use?
Well, I have a system in place that I use, but tell me first, Don, what would be your expectation?
Well, we did this once before and the agent sort of just disappeared on us, so we're smarter around. We want more this time.
Certainly. Well, I'm not going to disappear. There are 4 flaws that a majority of realtors have. I mean, one, they never answer their phone. Their voicemails are always full. They don't ever follow instructions, and they are always late. But I eliminate those from my system. So it is it's actually in my calendar that I will have a call with each one of my clients every Tuesday to go over and give them updates on what's going on with their transaction. What else beyond that would you like?
Would something like that work for you?
Would something like that work for you?
Well, I was gonna say Tuesday is a hectic day for us. So yeah, Tuesday's not gonna work. Anything else?
Okay. Then tell me what day would work better for you.
Thursday or Friday are good.
Okay.
What time do you call?
I typically call somewhere between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
When would you like me to call you?
When would you prefer I call?
Better
Yeah.
yet, I have openings in the afternoon. Preserve your mornings, guys. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You just described our last agent though. Those 4 things you just said. That was our
Time.
last
Go ahead,
agent.
Matt.
Hey, man, like, oh, Don said something. He's like, our last agent disappeared. And you could have decimated that whole conversation by saying, frustrating. How would you like me to show up?
Yeah.
And like you would have eliminated everything you just said. Guys, this is nuanced stuff, right? Like, it took me 20 years to have these epiphanies. And 20 years of high level communication. Like, every time I failed, I would analyze it, or every time I felt I failed, I would analyze it and say, what could I have done different here? How could I have communicated more concisely and powerfully? So don't beat yourselves up when these things elude you and you do what you're used to doing. And actually, I want to say one more thing. One thing that I I want you guys to feel encouraged and inspired by what you do on here, because you're exercising a new muscle. When I started doing this, I was 23 and I didn't have bad habits. A lot of you all have been in real estate maybe longer than I have, but you got into it after second careers, or it was your second or third career, and you had a lifetime of doing things a certain way. I was 23 and didn't have any bad habits. So I've been learning this the whole way through. So we're just rewiring things now. But don't be discouraged if you can't isolate these things like that. Anyway, Denny.
So your response to that, what you said, is how would you like me to show up? That
Yeah,
would be-
so I like to use the opposites. When they say something negative, guys, like, yeah, our last agent disappeared. Our last agent never communicated. Our last agent was disrespectful. How can I best respect you? How can I appear for you? How would you like me to show up for you? How would you like me to communicate with you? What does effective communication look like to you? I just flip it to the opposite. So if it's a negative, I flip it to the opposite and say, how can I do this for you?
So really fast, Robert, I'm going to go back a little bit more and dig. I echo what Matt was saying, you guys. You can read Nothing Against Phil Jones and all the books out there on all that stuff. You can read it until your cows come home, but I don't know of another class like this will give you the nuance, because it's not always the same. For example, I would have said, well, my last agent disappeared. Let me just ask you, what did you guys think? Put it in the chat when the seller said that. The first thought that came to my mind is they listed it, never talked to them again. What did you think? But disappeared to them, maybe they only talked to them once a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably Monday, maybe even tomorrow, Kelly has a very simple objection that we're going to break down. And I want to diagram the sentence. I want to teach you that the first thing you should do when you hear something, maybe you have to visualize it, is what words need to be defined. The last agent disappeared. Well, what does that mean? What did that look like? No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go forward, next, you go into a great restaurant you're going to pay a lot of money for, and the chef says, well, the way I cook this for everybody else in the world, Robert said, each one of my clients, why don't you make them feel special? I like to provide individual service for my clients and give them the level of communication that they want that fits in with our schedules. What would fit in with your schedule? Now you're feeling like the chef is working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is we go back to muscle memory, and we want to answer the question the same way. Don't. Remember, imagine you're at the Ritz-Carlton. It's not that we're going to say the bathroom's over there. We will walk them to the restroom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Next.
Carlos and me. Carlos.
Oh, not again.
Hi, Louis. No, I'm good. I'm good. Sorry about yesterday. Hi, Louis. Would you please share with me how would you like me to cater to your level of communication?
Oh, the last agent was awful. Absolutely awful. We just want to know that we've got better communication than that.
And I'm sorry to hear that, Louise, with that experience. In order for me to make this experience better for you and not awful again, what would you like me to do to make that happen for you?
Our last agent was awful. How so? I understand that we're talking about communication, but how so, right? Like, how so?
How so, Louise?
Oh my gosh. We heard from them 3 times. Once when we signed the listing, and a second time at the end of the listing, and a third time after they returned our many voicemails in between those 2 points.
Oh boy, sorry to hear that, Louise. And you know what? It sounds frustrating. And so I can better serve you.
How often were you hoping to hear from them?
Yes. How often would you like to hear from them?
I'm trying to teach you the less is more.
Yes.
I think I'd like to know weekly what's going on.
Just once a week, twice a week? How many times a week?
Once a week is sufficient, unless there's something magnificent that happened. But let us know weekly. Don't ghost us, please.
I hear you, Louise. That won't happen. And Thank you for sharing this with me, and I will
Time.
update you weekly.
What would you like to know weekly?
Mm.
When?
Are we
Don't-
saying, Matt, are we clarification? Is it
Mhm.
WEEKLY or
Right.
WEAKLY?
I wanted
would
to
you-
say that.
What
I
would you
wanted
like to know?
say that.
What would you like to know strongly? No, what? Yeah, what would you like to know weekly? And because guys, I know what Carlos did right there. And Carlos, tell me if I'm wrong. You assumed that you knew what she wanted to talk about, or
You're right.
you had an agenda that you normally talk to clients about. Guys, if my clients want to know what the weather is every Thursday and that's it, and they don't give a crap about anything else, great. It's 78 degrees and it's going to rain today. Anything else you need to know from me?
No.
So and it's not, man, I don't treat every client the same. I don't communicate with every client the same. However, there are patterns to these things. And I want to know when Louise says, they were terrible. How so? Because in the answer, what she tells you is probably she wants the exact opposite. So then you don't have to spend a lot of time using more words to suss out what she's grasping for. She's going to tell you, yeah, they disappeared. Okay, well, how often would you like to hear from me? Great. And what would you like to discuss? And then you're not having to, I'll use the word opine. Every time, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call you and I'm going to do this. You don't have to do that. Let them tell you what they want. Denny?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Last time I said protect your mornings. Why?
Yes.
Because your mornings should be for your lead generation. Gary Keller says the biggest enemy of business is it takes you away from generating business. And now you have one of these in your the
roller coaster.
Roller coaster real estate. So one of the ways you can do that is that, there's menus. You guys have mentioned menus of services. You can say, well, typically the sellers that I work with either want to be communicated once a week or maybe twice a week, and many of them maybe once a week. What fits your schedule? What fits you the best? So now you're basically giving them a little bit of a push.
Mhm.
Because have you ever met a seller that will call you before the taillights have left the driveway or want an update call several times a week? You don't want to do that. That's not called a seller or a listing. Those are called children. We've already raised them.
Yes.
Any questions about that? Am I being a little bit too harsh? I trust by now you get my sarcasm.
No, guys, I've talked about it. We looked at you guys. You looked at my schedule. I showed you that's like proprietary to me. I showed you this is what Matthew Sharp does every single day of the week. It has my personal time blocked in there. It has my sleeping time blocked in there. Most importantly, from 8 a.m. to 9:30, I'm lead generating. And then from 10:15 to 11:15, I'm lead generating. And then from 11:15 to 1 something, I'm doing follow-up. Protect your mornings. Those are appointments. And if you kid yourself into thinking they're not appointments, Walmart is hiring. Please go there.
Before we go next, thank you, Matt. Before we go next, here's the best news of the week. Tomorrow is Mastery Roleplay. Guess what? Hear me, hear me, hear me. You can use the same RECON Roleplay link. Do not go to the other link. Do not pass go. We're going to try to make it real simple for you because that was a big mess. So tomorrow is Mastery, 9:30 to 10:30, 1 hour, reconroleplay.com. Number next, let's go.
Okay. We are Ellie with Dawn and then Janet with Louise.
Ellie, we got a question from AI here. Can I ask one?
Yes, sure. Please do that,
Yeah.
Don.
What's your level of communication with me?
That's a great question, Don. Could you please describe to me the level that you expected?
Well, I want to be kept informed. How do you do it?
Okay, so how often you want to be informed? Daily, weekly, when something important?
Are you really setting yourself up for a daily call?
Oof.
Yeah. How well he said
Okay,
something he
let
wants.
me
Hold on,
rephrase it.
hold on,
How often?
hold on. Let me love on you. Let me love on you.
Love
He
on.
said you can just like if you're in a swimming pool. Ellie, do you swim?
Yes.
All right. Just like when you're in a swimming pool, you can change directions. You can change directions in a conversation. Conversations are wonderful because they're fluid. When he was talking about how often, then he said, I want to be kept informed. You can change directions midstream there. Informed of what?
Okay.
And then if the frequency comes up in that conversation, it gets folded in. You know the analogy, kill two birds with one stone. So
Okay,
you
well,
change directions midstream. What would you like to be kept informed of? And then kind of naturally, the time might fold in there too. Don't be afraid to change directions midstream.
okay.
Okay.
All right, then. So, inform about what?
Well, particularly when we have a showing, we'd like to know what the buyer felt.
Okay, that's great. Those come automatically because we have a system for that. Um, is anything else about this part that you'd like to know more?
Well, I think if you gave us an update, if we don't have showings, give us an update of as to what's going on for the week.
Okay, so you prefer weekly updates?
Yeah.
That's okay. Would you like to have them sent to you via email, text you, or call you?
Text is fine. I know we're all busy. Just send me a text every once in a while.
That sounds great. Okay, so I'll take a note of that. Is anything else that is important to you in the communication process?
What I would have said there, and this is just me, I'm not even really giving you feedback, Ellie, on what you said. This is what I do. I wouldn't have said, would you like me to call, text, call, email? I would say, Don, so can I share with you what I normally do with a client?
Yes.
Yeah. Every week, I'm going to record a Loom video. Have you ever watched a Loom video before?
No.
Awesome. It's so easy a realtor can do it. So I'm going to record a video on my screen and it's going to show you all the key metrics and everything you would want to know about what's going on with the sale of your home. And it's like a 5-minute video, could be a little longer. And then I'll text that to you or email that to you. Would that be all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then after you watch it, you can call me with your questions.
Fantastic.
That's what I would have done there, Ellie. And that's just, and that's not for you. That's not feedback for you, Ellie. That's just what I do, guys.
Yes.
I'm going to record a video and it's going to have all the data. Denny's going to tell me the 3 M's of the market update, but it's going to have all that in there. I'm going to text it or email it to them. And then it's going to say in big capitalized letters at the bottom after they watch it, call me with your questions. That way you guys aren't having to get on the phone and have 35-minute conversations about the exact same thing every single week.
Hey, Matt, when you send that out, do you send it out at a certain time?
No, it's not a specific time. I do all my admins and updates in the afternoon.
So let me ask this question. Okay, so what works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other. Now, again, for example, if he's, we're going to go into overtime, so we can talk about this. And that wouldn't work for me as a seller, and that wouldn't work for me as an agent. In the market we're in, I'm not saying it doesn't work for Matt. I'm not saying it doesn't work for you, but now if he has evidently has a presentation where that's the way he does it. I don't know if he asked him if the video is okay, but we're probably teaching that rather than say, this is how I do it, you might want to find out what's their method of learning. Mm-hmm. So I'm not poo-pooing his idea. I'm just saying that may not fit for everybody. Does that make sense?
Yes.
One of the things I wrote down in that conversation along the same lines, rather than saying you want weekly or whatever, my verbiage is what I have found works best for my sellers is a conversation once or twice a week. Would that be helpful to you? You see, when you're in our market here and you're always having to really, most likely you're starting here, you're going to have conversations. At some point in time, that I imagine with Matt's system, he still has to have some conversations, but he's
Yes.
using the video
To do the heavy lifting.
I'm sorry?
It does the heavy lifting. So then when I get on the call, because I do call them, when I get on the call, it's just it's 99 times out of 100, it's well, what do we do? That's them saying that to me.
I guess what I'm saying here is this: you can use that to augment your system, but you better not be on your spouse's birthday. Don't send him or her a video. You may want to talk to them.
Yes.
Do y'all hear me on that?
It is guys, just, you know what a supplement is, right? It's like, you take a supplement to have it. It's a supplement to a conversation. However, you still have to have the conversation.
Yeah, I inhale Prevagen. All right. So
there you go.
All right. So we're in overtime. You can kill the recording, and I want to talk a little bit more about feedback.